Hey friends, about 40 days ago now, I opened my Bible and flipped open right to Jonah. And that's so hard because there's just like 1 or 2 pages of Jonah. And right then I saw it and the Holy Spirit said, you are in a Jonah moment. The next day I began to hear all this stuff about the eclipse and the Jonah stuff. I had no idea. And I just listened to the Holy Ghost, and we begin a fast because judgment begins at the house of the Lord. We begin fasting pride. We begin fasting things of the heart, issues of the heart, getting our hearts right with the Lord and tuning into Him and tuning out things because He wants to use us as His prophetic voice in these last days to help people that are scared for what's coming. That's what He kept telling me. I don't know when exactly it's going to happen, but there is an X. We begin to see there's an X over the United States between the first eclipse and the second one. First one, 2017, during Trump's rule, as president, his time, and we saw it went through like 7 or 8 different Salems, places called Salem, which means peace, and we had peace during that time, even in the Middle East, and even China and Russia wouldn't dare do anything. We had basically world peace then, and then we came to, that was the beginning of it, 2017, at the beginning when he started. Then we fast forward to 7 years later. 7 years is symbolic too, always in the Bible. It's a sign. These things are all signs, and there's nothing to be taken lightly. And 7 years later, we're in Biden's time in office. And the point is that X goes across places, many called Salem. I believe it's 7 or 8 as well. Places called Salem, and it makes an X. So Nineveh's, it's a sign of judgment. The other one was a sign of a time of peace. Now it's a sign of a time of judgment. We're coming to a cross point, a crossroads. The Holy Spirit is saying we must make a choice. Right above it is the constellation of the whale. And even at the first place it goes through is called Jonah, and then Nineveh's all along. And there's right where it X's, there's the ark that was built there, the Ark of Noah. Right around the X, and it's in a little place called Little Egypt. There's so many different signs like that. And also I want you to know that these signs are real. You can laugh. So many people laugh, and they're going to laugh more when nothing happens on that day. I don't think anything's happening right on that day, but it will happen right after. Many times there was eclipses, there was war right afterwards, there's earthquakes, there's world wars, there's you go back and you see there's civil war, everything right after eclipse. We're in a time when there could be a civil war. We're in a time when we're right at the time of the ends. If you study the end of the age, the times that we're in, we're right there. We don't know the exact day or hour, but we know the season, we know the times that we're in. And I believe that God could give us a little more time, but it's dependent on this time. Will we repent? Will we turn to Him? Will us, even as Christians, take a more serious look at our country and pray, we pray and fast and pray for the direction of our country. It's falling into the hands of the beast system, and that is the New World Order that wants to take us down the path of the 7-year tribulation. That could be right now, or we could have a little bit more time and have a revival. I'm believing for a revival like the world has never seen before. I think that's what the Lord wants, and that's what He wants to see, hearts turn to Him. And these signs, they're subtle. Sometimes they seem subtle. Everybody's not going to get it. When you look into the Old Testament, New Testament, specifically I'm talking now about Jesus' birth. The wise men, they saw the signs because they were in the Old Testament, they were in Daniel's time in Babylon. Daniel began to show them, interpret the signs and the prophecies and teach them. And that's where these magi come from that area of Babylon, and they knew what to look for. They knew a Messiah was coming, and they knew the signs in the heavens. And that's why they told Herod, and Herod listened, and he went and tried to kill the babies to stop it. But King Herod, he was the fake king of the Jews at the time. He didn't want Jesus to come take his place because they were coming to worship the king of the Jews. But the real ones that kept the prophecies and the scrolls of ones that aren't even in the Bible, but you can go back and study these scenes, because you'll understand that they knew the time Jesus was coming, and it was the end of that age and the beginning of His age. The temple, you can go study it more, but when Jesus was crucified and the temple fell, that began the age of grace that we're in now. Too much to talk about here, but I want you to talk about the great eclipse. And also, CERN is starting back up. Go and read about CERN, C-E-R-N. They're trying to open up a portal, and that'll begin to bring, even their director said it could bring things from another dimension in. They're opening, it's like Stargate is what they're doing. And that's in Revelations, we see that a portal is open, the abyss is open, and these things, these giant locusts and creatures come out, and that's what we're going to see. Whenever that time comes, it's all lining up, the mark of the beast. You know, you can't buy or sell without the mark. Look at China and the social credit score, digital money, all that had to come to be, all this technology, all this AI. So these last days, things could start to come to be. And I want you I'm talking quick just to get you a taste of this stuff, to know that we are in the end of the age before the millennial reign of Christ. There's going to be a rapture too at any time, where he takes those, he calls his bride. So I want you to know that he's preparing his bride now. Jesus is preparing his bride to believe in it, to wake up, to be about his business, to listen, to become in. Okay, let's end it with this. He wants a love relationship with you. He wants a friendship with you where you speak to him, he speaks to you, and you're connected to the vine. He knows you. You know, he said there was many that said, oh, I did this in your name, I did that in your name, I did these great works. He said, no, I never knew you. So I want you to spend time knowing the Lord. And yes, this eclipse is coming. And NASA's also shooting rockets into the air. There's so many different things I could tell you about. But the point is, we are in the last days, and things are going to happen that are scary. But we have to be ready. It's in a Jonah moment. We have to boldly speak without fear. Whatever the Holy Spirit tells you to stand and say, you are his prophets. If you're tuned in with him, you know, there's going to be many false prophets that are tuning into the world, that have itching ears to hear what they want to hear. I'm going to end it there. I love you guys. You're watching TIV TV. I love you.